What's up, tribe? I'm sorry, y'all. I need to change. Hold on. It's on subscribers mode now. It was on members only. I forgot to stream this on my other channel. Shoot. Okay. Everybody should be able to, well, if you are subscribed to the channel, everybody should be able to chat now. Hey, you guys, come on in. Sorry about that. I guess I screwed up and forgot to put this on my other channel. It's all good. But we are here to talk about the season premiere of The Real Housewives of New Jersey, season 15. Season 15. So let's get ready to get into it. I'm going to say this, you guys. I already can tell. Sorry, y'all. My light has been giving me a lot of trouble lately. Maybe it's time to buy a new light, honey. It's always something. Okay. Can y'all hear me okay? Come on in. Oh, boy. Hey, Don. Hey, boo. All right. Okay. Oh, Lord. So let me say this. I can already tell that we had some issues with this show, with filming this season. Like, I can tell from the premiere that we had some issues. You know what I'm saying? Golly. Y'all. Hey, Kenya, how you doing, boo? I thought about you earlier. I was thinking about you earlier. Y'all, this light situation. Okay. Sorry about that. We getting started. Sorry about that. Stupid thing. So I can already tell that we are having some problems with filming, right? Because this premiere, on a scale of 1 to 10, this premiere was like a 5, right? It wasn't great. It wasn't horrible, but it really wasn't a good premiere. For me, at least, it wasn't. And I can already tell that they were having issues with trying to get people to film with each other. We know that we're going to be dealing with the same issue. Okay. We know that we're dealing with the same issue with New Jersey that we dealt with Potomac. I think the biggest difference, or a couple of differences that we're going to be seeing with this season is, number one, the difference is, number one, with Potomac, I felt like I would say this about New Jersey. With New Jersey, it's way more organic. Like, these people really, truly have layers of reasons why they're not messing with each other. Like, you have a family feud that started before the show. You know, when Joe and Melissa came onto the show, I started uploading my old retro reviews over on the other channel. And when you go back to the first season, when they came on the show with mess. And that was season 3. We are on season 15. So the difference is this is layers and layers and layers of Teresa and Joe having their family issues versus the Real Housewives of Potomac. To me, it was just, I don't know. But we're dealing with the same problem. You can definitely tell that there were people who just were not going to film with each other. We didn't get a lot of group scenes in this first episode. We got a lot of family scenes in this first episode, which, I mean, we get some family, but I just felt like we had more family than usual. And we got a lot more of people kind of in their own lane kind of stuff. So let's start from the beginning. We start this episode off with, we see that there was some sort of big sit down. Looks like maybe Dolores tried to, seemed like maybe it was Dolores that did. Y'all know Dolores is my girl. Y'all know that's my girl on the show. That's my favorite. But it looks like Dolores maybe tried to arrange this sit down, and it just wasn't working. Like, we see the aftermath of it. We see that stuff got thrown. We see it was just a mess, right? So it looks like didn't go so well. and then it sort of rewinds back to where we are. So we know that Teresa and Louie, Antonia is getting ready to go away to school. She's going to the University of Michigan. So we see her, getting ready to start packing up and getting ready to move into her dorm. We see Melissa and Joe have moved into their home, their newest house. And we see that, it was just simply, it really wasn't all that great. And we see where her daughters get ready to go away to the University of, she's Antonia. I'm sorry. She's Antonia. Child, I can't keep up with these kids' names. Anyway, she's getting ready to go to the University of Delaware. And, she's packing up or whatever. We go over to the Feslers. We'll get to them in a second. I mean, not the we see Jen is learning how to play the guitar. We see her with her family a little bit. Hold on, let me get to my notes, child. Let me make sure sorry. So the first group scene we have the Fudas with their family. Now somebody, hey Melly, hey boo. Somebody earlier in the chat said that Joe Fuda is thirsty. I'm sort of torn on that. Do I think that he is enjoying being on the show and enjoying the role of being on the show? Yes, I do. I think he's enjoying it. I mean, the man has had more plastic surgery than the women have. So what does that tell you? I mean, he had weight loss surgery. He got his teeth done. I mean, child. Now, he ain't had more work than Teresa, but baby, he done had some work done, okay? So do I think he's enjoying being on the show? Yes. But I also think that he has a legitimate reason to have an issue. You know what I'm saying? I think he has a legitimate reason to have an issue. And we're going to get to that at the end. We're going to get to more of that at the end. He's always been like that. Who's always been like that? Joe Fuda? Am I saying his name right? I'm talking about Fuda. I ain't talking about Joe Judice or Joe. I'm talking about Fuda, the Rachel's husband. Isn't his name Joe too? Or let me just say Fuda, because I don't remember. Let me just say Fuda. John. Okay, he's John Fuda. My bad. John. So yeah, I just feel like, but I do feel like he has a legitimate reason to have a problem with Louie as it relates to background checks and things of that nature. But we'll get to that in a second. We see them. His name is John. Thank y'all. Sorry. So many Joes. My bad. John Fuda. Don't nobody leave it in my comments. I corrected myself, please and thank you. Okay. So we see Rachel meeting up with the family. She's had the family over. We found out that her parents just moved about an hour and a half away, so they don't see each other as much. Her daughter has something going on with the situation under the tongue, and that's sort of delaying her development as far as speech. So she's getting that worked on. She's going to see some specialists and everything like that. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I think John Fuda has some legit reasons for feeling the way he feels, to be honest with you. But again, do I think that he likes being on the show? So the one thing I love about New Jersey that's different than the other shows is that the husbands are a part of the story and they get paid. Now, I don't know if all of them get paid or maybe just the older ones. Like, I don't know if the newer ones come on the show automatically get a paycheck or they got to earn their way to that. But I do know that Frank gets a check. Joe Judice got a check when he was on the show, and Gorga gets a check. I know they get paid. Now, I can't say if all of them do or not, but yeah. So, Chuck, you talking to me? Oh, you corrected yourself. Oh, yeah, I got you. I knew what you meant. I knew what you're saying. All right. So, yeah, let me say this. Let me say this. And I've said this before, but for the people that are new here, or if you're going to catch this in a replay and you never heard me say this before, I said this 2 seasons ago. I never liked Louie. I always felt like something about Louie just saying, snake oil salesman to me. Something about him is just not sincere. I think Louie knew exactly who Teresa was. I think Louie knew Teresa's history. I think he saw that she might have been naive and an easy pick. And I think he swooped in. I absolutely feel that way. And I believe everything that has been said about Louie. Everything. Everything. Did I believe that last year Louie called Margaret's son? I believe it. I absolutely believe it. I absolutely believe it. Do I believe that that Louie was doing background checks on these people? Yes. You know why I believe that Louie was doing background checks on people? Because I think that's who Louie is. Just like I believe he did a background check on Teresa and he knew exactly who Teresa was. He knew her history. He knew her past. Hell, he probably sat in his room and binge watched all of the seasons of the Real Housewives of New Jersey. He probably watched every spinoff, everything. Okay. I believe that because people like him, the person that I believe him to be, they do their homework. They want to know exactly who they are dealing with because in their mind, they know how to finesse a situation and they know how to control and manipulate a situation. And I believe that he did background checks for that exact reason. So he would know exactly who he was dealing with. And then he because of the type of person that he is, he's gotten Teresa hook, line, and sinker. Right? She cannot see past the love bombing that he does, right? Because that is what Teresa wants. If you look at old episodes of the Real Housewives of New Jersey, it wasn't hard to figure out what Teresa wanted, right? Teresa wanted, yes, Kenya, a con man, yep. Teresa wanted that constant love bombing. She wanted to do everything with Joe. I was just looking at, y'all know I'm back doing my retros. I was just looking at when they went to Punta Cana. She wanted to do everything with him. Hold my hand, Joe. Joe, come with me. Joe, do you love me? Joe, aren't I beautiful? Joe, don't I look good in this? Joe, give me a kiss. Joe. And it doesn't take a hard person to figure out, or a smart person, I should say, to figure out the best way to get to Teresa is through love bombing. That is what she needs. That is what she craves, especially now that she went through what she went through with Joe Giudice. She needs it even more so now than she needed it then. And so, yes, I believe he did background checks on everybody. Okay. Now he pissed her money away. Now I'm gonna be I just simply, I don't believe anything I see in the trailers till I see the context in the show. Do I think that there was probably a part where there was some that they were going through some trouble while they were filming this? Yeah. I want to see it in context because, at this point, I don't believe nothing. Y'all know y'all know how they do with the trailers. I know how they do with the trailers. But yeah. Exactly, Catherine. If you had looked at the old seasons of the Real Housewives of New Jersey, you knew what Teresa needed. Right? So, okay. So that was that. I didn't even get to. Okay, yeah. So we found out that they're planning a surprise party for Jen Fesler. And so Rachel told her family, like, listen, yes, I reached out to everybody because, first of all, it ain't my party. It's not for me. I'm helping her husband plan the party. I told him that I would get in touch with the girls. So yes, I sent a message to Teresa. I sent a message to Jennifer Aiden. I sent a message to everybody on the cast, basically, because you know what? It ain't got nothing to do with me. Not my monkey, not my show. Okay. So whoever, it is what it is. She said it's not in my house and it ain't my party. So I'm just doing my part. And I can respect that. Because again, at the end of the day, what the husband probably, because when you saw the party at the end of the episode, it wasn't a Real Housewives event. Yes, Dirty John. Ooh, Kenya. Yes. That's a really good comparison. If y'all don't know the story of Dirty John, y'all need to go. It's a true story. But I listened to the podcast and then they made it into a show on FX and I reviewed it. So if y'all just want to see my reviews, y'all go. It's a playlist. It's a Dirty John playlist in my archives that you can go and look. But yes, that's a really good comparison, Kenya. Oh my gosh, yes. Man lied about being a doctor. Oh gosh, that was a whole situation. So I can respect because like I was saying, this wasn't just a Real Housewives. This wasn't just a Real Housewives event. Y'all know the difference between events they have just for the show versus events that they have for real, for real. This was a real event, right? This was a for real event because everybody was there, right? Jen's family was there, her friends outside of the show were there. So probably what her husband did was reach out to Rachel and say, "Girl, can you reach out to the ladies? Can you reach out to the ladies and get them to come to this daggone party for Jen?" And Rachel said, "Sure, I got it." So then we see Marge meeting up with Jen Fesler. Jen Fesler has some work done too, but she looks good. Jen Fesler looks good. But she told us about her work, child, at the reunion last year. She was like, I did this, I did this, I did that. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. Listen, I'm all here for a person that can be honest about what they do. Because ain't no need in hiding it. We can see it. Girl, we can see it. But it looks good. It looks good. So, let me put a pin in that real quick. I loved how Joe and Melissa had a whole conversation basically clowning Teresa that she thought she was going to get Melissa fired, but she's still here. I thought that was funny. Because I knew then at the reunion when Teresa tried to make it seem like she could get Melissa fired, I said, "Oh, you overplayed your hand on this one, baby girl. Like, I know you the face of New Jersey, and I know that Andy loves you and all of that, but baby, you didn't overplayed your hand on this one." And I almost feel like her doing that kept Melissa's job, because I feel like at that point didn't because you heard Andy say, "Oh really? Oh really?" I think in that moment Andy was like, "Oh, she coming back." Whether he wanted her to come back or not, she was coming back. So I think you kind of saved her job. If she was on the block, I don't know if Melissa was actually really on the chopping block, but baby, you saved her job. What you thought you was doing for her detriment, you really did it for her good. Say it again. Okay. So Marge meets up with Jen Fesler. Now remember, Marge and Jen were friends for real. They were friends in real life before the show. And basically what we found out was Marge is basically giving Jennifer the old, you either with me or you with them. And I've known you longer and you're my friend in real life. So I don't want you talking to Teresa. I don't want you being friends with Teresa. I don't want you going near Teresa. I don't want you. And Jen Fesler was like, "Well, I told you, girl. I told you that I'm riding with you, that I got your back. I'm with you on this one." And that's always a dangerous thing to do, especially in this environment when you know that this is about a check. This isn't a real friend group where you can really truly kick somebody out of the friend group, or you can choose to not be around somebody. Like Marge, you know what this is. You know how dangerous this is to put her in that position. You are a veteran at this point. She is only in her second season. I mean, let's just break the fourth wall for a second. I thought that was very dangerous of Marge to put that on her. However, Jen volunteered it. And Jen was like, "Well, I want to talk to Teresa. I understand why you feel the way you feel, but I really do want to talk to Teresa and Louie about it." And Margaret was like, "Nah, don't do that." I'm with Margaret on that one. Don't do it. Don't ask her nothing. I don't want y'all talking about me. I don't want my name coming up in conversation with Teresa or Louie. I don't want it. And I'm with her on that one. Like, at this point, you done brought my son into it. You've called my son's job. Which that in itself was a threat. Let's be clear. That was an unspoken threat. That was I know who you are. I know how to find you. That was a threat. You call my child. Now remember, Margaret's kids have never been on this show. Well, never is a strong word, but since I've been watching the show, Margaret's kids are not on the show. They're not a part of the show. They don't film on the show. Like, you know who they are. Just simply, what is it? Do you have my Instagram? Can you send it to me, please? Do you have my Instagram? It's ReallyBThePodcast _ on YouTube. If you don't know it, send it to me, please, so I can see what it is. Let me know. Let me know if you need to find it. Yeah, don't speak on my behalf. And here's the other reason why I don't want you speaking on my behalf. Because I don't want anybody to be able to misconstrue anything and bring it back to me. I don't want nobody coming back to me saying, well, Cheryl said da 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 da. Well, Cheryl said, me and Cheryl good. Me and Cheryl are friends. We done talked about it. I don't need you talking to them so that they can put you in a trick bag. You see what I'm saying? So I understood why Margaret felt that way. And like I was saying, Margaret's kids are not on the show. Like Teresa's kids have been on the show. They have filmed since day one. We have watched those girls grow up, right? We've seen Melissa's kids. We've seen Jennifer Aiden's kids. We now are seeing Rachel's kids. Like that's a different conversation because we have seen those kids. Baby, we have not seen Margaret's kids. So for you to reach out to her son and call her son on his job, that was a threat. That I would have taken it as a threat. That was I know how to get to you. I know who you are and I know how to find you. So yeah, I'm with Margaret on that one 100%. But the flip side, but the difference between me and Margaret in that moment, I would have said, listen, do what you need to do. You spend time with Teresa. You can talk to Teresa. You can be friends with Teresa. What your relationship with Teresa has nothing to do with me. All I ask is don't bring me up and don't allow me to be the conversation. That I would ask of a friend. I would say, listen, especially in this situation where you know it's not just about being friends. I would honestly be like, listen, y'all can talk, girls, do what you got to do. Spend time with Teresa, hang out with Teresa, talk to Teresa. Just don't talk about me. Just don't talk about me. You sent it. Okay, thank you, boo. All right. Oh, I see it. Okay, hold on. Let's see what John Fuda said. Yeah, John Fuda. Okay. Oh, Lord, it's a long one. Okay, hold on. Let me see what this saying. Hold on, y'all. It's writing. Hold on. Okay. It says for immediate release. Child, he done put down a press release. He said, Child, he done gave us a press release. Okay, let's take a pause. Let's read John Fuda's press release. Lord, this writing is so small. Hold on. John Fuda responds to Real Housewives of New Jersey castmates' attempt to disparage his character. John Fuda, esteemed entrepreneur and philanthropist, has issued a statement in response to recent attempts by his fellow castmates on the Real Housewives of New Jersey to bring up his past in an effort to cast him in a negative light. In recent episodes of Real Housewives of New Jersey, certain cast members have resorted to dredging up Mr. Fuda's past in an apparent attempt to discredit and undermine his reputation. Despite these efforts, Mr. Fuda remains steadfast in his commitment to integrity, honesty, and personal growth. While I am not proud of every aspect of my history, I've worked tirelessly to overcome challenges and strive for a better future. I refuse to be defined by my past mistakes. A respected figure in his community, John Fuda has dedicated himself to numerous charitable causes and business endeavors. His contributions to society far outweigh any missteps of his past, and he remains focused on making a positive impact on the world around him. I'm grateful for the support of my friends, family, and fans. Fans? Fans? Who see me for who I am today, a person dedicated to growth, kindness, and authenticity. Mr. Fuda added, I will continue to raise above negativity and remain true to myself. Mr. Fuda's response serves as a reminder that everyone deserves a chance to evolve and move forward from their past, free from judgment and condemnation. For media inquiry, For media inquiries, interviews, requests, please contact yada yada yada. And then we have an about him page. So let's read about John. John Fuda is a respected entrepreneur and philanthropist, a television personality known for his appearances on The Real Housewives of New Jersey. Why they say appearances with an S, like he been on multiple shows? Sir, you've been on one show. Because they don't even list nothing else down here. They say The Real Housewives of New Jersey, and that is it. But it says known for his appearances with an S. I mean, I guess multiple episodes, but sir, you have been on one show. With a passion for business and giving back to his community, Mr. Fuda has become a beloved figure among fans and supporters. John, you shouldn't have said shit. I'm going to tell you in a minute why he didn't need to say nothing or why he shouldn't have said nothing. Give me a second. Y'all don't let me. Well, it's in my notes. It's in my notes. But see, John, you shouldn't have said shit. But let me finish with my review. I'm going to come back around to that. Okay? Okay, I'm done with that. Okay. So then we see Teresa and Dolores going out on a double date with Louie and Paulie. Now y'all know Dolores is my girl. That's my friend in my head. I love me some okay. John got fans. Okay, I see y'all. John got fans. I like Dolores and I even like Paulie. I like Paulie. But they go out on a double date and basically, they're talking about, what's going on. Frank bought a house around the corner from, I think, Teresa. He's talking about getting married. Now, here's the thing. I'm going to tell you why I love Dolores. Now, y'all know Dolores got on my nerves the season before last because I think she was doing a little much when her and Jennifer got into it. But other than that, for the most part, me and Dolores get along. And I'm going to tell you why. It's reasons why this. So while they're having dinner, of course they go over blah, 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 blah. Louie tried to reach out to John Fuda. Fuda said, I'll talk to you at the party on Tuesday. I really don't want to have a conversation with you outside of, and here's what I think wasn't being said. I feel like what was being said was, I don't want, like, I'll talk to you on camera so that it can be recorded so that everybody will know what I said and what you said, but I'm not interested in talking to you because I feel like Louie reached out to him to have a conversation before they started filming. That's how I took that. That as I'm not interested in having a conversation with you outside of filming, outside of the cameras. You're not going to be able to, again, you're not going to put me in a trick bag. You're not going to bait and switch me. You're not going to say, well, when me and you talked, you said this and he said that. We're not playing that game. No, ma'am. We're not doing that. Okay. Now, the other thing we find out is that Frank allegedly had a meeting with Louie. And see, this is what I'm talking about, right? Frank wasn't in the first episode and Frank wasn't there to speak for himself. So we can only go by what allegedly Frank said. So Frank allegedly told Louie that they all met up at Margaret's house before the reunion and basically game planned on what they were going to do at the reunion. You know why I love Dolores? Because Dolores said in her, what Dolores basically said, so y'all got to hear to what people are saying when people not talking. I mean, listen to what people not saying, but what they are saying. Dolores said, I'm not even upset by what Teresa is telling me because we all do that, including Teresa. Now, that's not what she said, but based on what she said, that is what she said. She said, well, that's pretty much what always happens. That's pretty much how it always goes, that we always sort of link up to sort of figure it all out. So I'm not that upset. Translation. Girl, we did the same shit. Teresa, you know good and okay, Cheryl, see, me and you was on the same page. Teresa, you know good and damn well that y'all do the same thing. Y'all meet up and y'all get it all together. You mean to tell me, let's go back, Teresa. Let's get it. Let's get in the time machine. Let's go back to season 1 and 2. You mean to tell me that you didn't sit down with the Manzos and game plan on how y'all was going to deal with crazy lady? What was the crazy lady name from season 1 and 2? What her name? Y'all know who I'm talking about? The crazy lady. Y'all know who I'm talking about. Y'all not gonna sit here and tell me y'all didn't game plan. And like Dolores said, baby girl, we've been doing that. Danielle, thank you. Yeah, thank you, Danielle. Girl, Dolores, Teresa, you know y'all do that. So my thing is, that's why I was loving it, because Dolores was like, girl, I'm not about to sit here and be mad. I ain't about to fake outrage. I ain't even about to buy into that, baby. Teresa just wanted Dolores to be like, what? They did what? First of all, Dolores probably knew about it. Let's call a thing a thing. Let's just call a thing a thing. Dolores probably knew. Now, Dolores wasn't invited. Dolores wasn't invited. Because everybody know that even though last year, Dolores, was kind of doing this a little bit with Teresa, just a little bit with Teresa. We all know at the end of the day that Dolores got Teresa's back like 4 flats, right? But Dolores knew about it. The second reason why I'm not pissed off about it, and if I was Dolores, I wouldn't be pissed off about it, because if y'all go back in time, let's get back in the time machine. We go back in time, and we go back to the season finale of last season. The season finale left off with Louie talking about he had all of them investigated by his friend Bo Dietl. That was the last part of the last episode. They had the season finale at that party where they all got into that argument. And then the very next day, we see Louie talking to Teresa at the table, talking about how he done had all of them investigated. So even if that wasn't a common practice before the reunion, I could understand why they all sat back and they was comparing notes and trying to figure out what the hell Louie was doing, because Louie left that open. You see what I'm saying? So why you mad that these people are coming together trying to figure out what the hell he mean he getting us investigated? And remember all of the different things that have been happening. The phone call to Margaret's son, the mysterious job with Frank's son, Frank and Dolores' son. Like, there were reasons why they needed to sit down and have a conversation. Okay? And let me tell y'all something. If Frank comes on this show later on in the season and Frank says, that's not what I said, or that's not how that conversation went, or, Louie didn't repeat it correctly, then that's going to confirm, and that is going to justify why John said, nah, I'm not talking to you off camera. No, ma'am, no, sir, no, Pam. We ain't doing it. All right. So we find out. So Paulie, we also found out Paulie S is still married. Now, listen, I feel like that's going to be Dolores' storyline. People do this a lot, right? Married couples do this a lot, and especially in the Black community, they do it all the time. People be separated longer than they was ever married. They be married for 30. They'll be married for 10 years, separated for 30, right? For various reasons, for different reasons. Paulie has been separated for 10 years. He never felt the need to get divorced before. I'm sure you're not his first girlfriend, Dolores, but okay, now he's working on the divorce. Well, I'm sure clearly there was a lot to unravel. Clearly there's a reason why his ass wasn't in no rush to get this damn divorce, okay? So now you got to just be patient and let them unravel what needs to be unraveling. Now I understand how because I'm going to be honest with you guys. I really feel like the only reason why Dolores is pushing it is because it came out at the reunion. Because Dolores, let's be clear, Dolores already knew he was married. She knew he was married. So I feel like the only reason why this is an issue now is because it came out at the reunion. Now, that's just my opinion. Cheaper to keep her. You better tell it. Mm-hmm. Louie is a liar. Frank may have talked to Louie, but Frank wouldn't betray his man. I agree. I do not think, and that's why I said it'll be interesting to hear what Frank has to say. Because Frank has no reason to quote unquote betray. Listen, Frank and Gorga go back like 4 flats. And let's be clear, he's known all of the guys longer than he's known Louie. And there's no love lost between Frank and Teresa. So I don't know. I find that to be interesting. So then we get to Jennifer's party. This is the first group scene that everybody is there for. Teresa and Jennifer Aiden show up together. Everybody else is there. Teresa says she has absolutely no intention of speaking to Melissa or Joe. She said that she can be cordial to Marge, but she has no interest in any sort of conversation with Marge. Louie can't come because he's got a business meeting in Florida. Bill can't come because he's got surgery. So everybody is headed on down to the party. Looks like it was a really nice party. Very well planned out. A little bit of this, a little bit of that. I was here for it. It was cute. And Teresa did just that, child. Teresa did speak to Joe. Joe ain't speak to her. Teresa ain't speak to Melissa. Melissa ain't speak to her. She did speak to Marge. Marge gave her a hey and kept it walking. And again, y'all, that is just not sustainable. It's just not. But we'll see how it continues to play out throughout the season. He probably told Louie that I told them when we met I wasn't going to speak on my son's job with you. I believe what Frank probably told Louie was, yes, conversations were had trying to figure out why you had us investigated. And yes, we talked about he probably admitted to the conversation, but I don't think he told Louie, oh yeah, it was this great plan to set you up. Like, no, he didn't say it. First of all, and I know, before y'all even tell me, I know Frank is an attorney, even though he was disbarred, but I know Frank is an attorney, which means he went to somebody's law school and passed somebody's bar exam. Okay? So don't tell, before I say what I'm getting ready to say, I know that. Ain't nobody got to tell me all of that. But Frank ain't the brightest bulb in the box. I just don't think that Frank got into all them details with Louie. I just don't think it was that deep. But anyway. So Jennifer comes, she's happy. Everybody says surprise. It's a beautiful thing. Now, we see where the fellas end up having a conversation. The fellas had a conversation. And Paulie, for whatever reason, is defending Louie. I have no idea why Paulie is defending Louie. First of all, Louie's not even here. And I don't feel like John said anything that needed defending, right? All he said was, yeah, I have no interest in talking to him. I told him I would talk to him here, and he's not here. And Louie was like, well, he had a business meeting. He was like, yeah, okay, he had a business meeting, but he's not here. So, basically, I had no interest in, first of all, I don't want to have a conversation with him. I don't feel like I owe him that. So, because Paulie was saying, well, we don't need to have that conversation on camera. That's what, because again, see, this is an example of what I'm talking about. When I say, and y'all have heard me say this about other shows, about how I hate when they break the fourth wall, right? Y'all heard me talk about this on other shows where I hate that they break the fourth wall. Here's an example of how you can say what you need to say without breaking the fourth wall. In my opinion, I don't know if this is what he meant, but this is how I interpreted what he meant. In my opinion, he was saying, I would have a conversation with him here because I'm not interested in having a conversation with him, privately. I feel like that's code for off camera. You see how you can say it without saying it? That's my opinion. I feel like they're not interested in engaging Louie. Because see, I feel like they see him for his works. They see Louie for his works, in my opinion. So they are not interested in being in a situation where Louie can manipulate, like I said, put him in a trick bag, switch up what he said, say something different, interpret it something different. I feel like that, in my opinion, I feel like that's kind of what Fuda was saying. Now, why Paulie felt like he had to come in and be Captain Save-A-Hole for Louie, I do not know. I do not understand. I do not know. Now, the way that scene was edited, Paulie said a lot and then got mad when John tried to talk. And the way it was edited, it looked like Paulie kept trying to cut John off or wouldn't let John finish what he was saying. So John was getting frustrated and Paulie was getting frustrated. And at the end of the day, they are all grown-ass men. They're not going to be sunned by nobody, right? John ain't going to let Paulie son him. Paulie ain't going to let John son him. You know what I'm saying? And I really felt like Dolores did what she was supposed to do. She saw her man from across the room. She know his body language. She know his mannerisms. She saw that conversation wasn't going in a good direction. She swooped in and said, it's time to go. Let me tell you something. That's a good woman, Savannah. Dolores knew what she was doing. She said, I can tell by Paulie's body language that he's getting frustrated and he's losing his patience. It's time for us to go. Joe consistently gives Melissa validation and tells her how much he loves her and how she looks. It's been that way since the beginning. Teresa always wanted it and never got it. She's jealous. Oh, women, I'm behind, but you are completely right about the love bombing with Teresa. I believe down in my heart that's a reason she despises Melissa is because Joe treats Melissa how she always wanted. You know, that's a point. That's a valid point. But with me going back and watching the old episodes, what it sounds like to me, I think that has a lot to do with it too. I think that Joe treats Melissa a way that Teresa wished Giudice treated her. But I also think, in my opinion, that part of the situation with Teresa, Melissa, and Joe Gorga is Teresa and her mother always treated Gorga like he was the little brother, the baby boy, and they always felt like they could lead him around and tell. You know what? For those of you who watch The Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, I think it was very similar to what Crystal said her and her mom did with her brother and his girlfriend. Remember, her brother lost his fiance because of Crystal and her mother meddling in his business. And yes, I agree, Cheryl. I think Melissa came in. Melissa did not, Melissa wasn't who they wanted him with for whatever reason. Don't care, don't know, wasn't there. And I believe that before Melissa, they were always able to manipulate him and get what they wanted. Whether they didn't want him with a particular girl, I feel like they were always able to manipulate him into breaking up with that girl or screw up the relationship. But Joe, listen, when you know it, you know it. And they all said that the relationship went fast. Like they met and like basically she had moved in a month later. And I just think that they lost that control they had over Melissa. Right. They said they thought Melissa was a gold digger. But my thing was, Joe Gorga had a little something, but let's be clear, he wasn't no multi-millionaire. But you're right. They did. They thought Melissa was a gold digger. So that to me has always been part of the problem. But you're right. I agree. But I also think that Teresa had always been able to tell her brother what to do. And the mother had always been able to control him. And they couldn't, once Melissa came along, they couldn't do it. They couldn't do it anymore when Melissa showed up. And I'm not saying Melissa's perfect. Let's be clear. I ain't saying Melissa's all right, but I just think that had a lot to do with it. All right, so my theory is that Joe Gorga is the scapegoat. Teresa's the golden child. We have watched Joe run on a hamster wheel to please his family for 14 years. Yeah, but that's why I'm saying that there are layers to this. But when it comes to the Teresa Melissa situation, I think that's a lot of it. So anyway, So Fuda also, we found out from Teresa and Fuda that Fuda's ex-wife or baby mama, whoever, put a lot of stuff out there about him allegedly. Now, before I read that little press release, I was going to say something totally different. I was going to say, you know, we don't know if it's true because remember, the mother of his child she does have drug problems. She is in and out of jail. Remember, that's how he got full custody of his son, because he said that basically the mother abandoned the son and he raised his child. He raised his son. He got full custody because the mother was not there. So what I was going to say prior to this press release, what I was going to say was, I ain't about to sit here and believe everything that's coming out this woman's mouth. She is clearly a woman scorned. She's clearly just trying to get her 15 minutes of fame. So whatever she come out here and say, it is what it is. But I'm not just going to automatically jump on the bandwagon and believe it. But now, after he done basically came out here and said everything she said was true, because that's what that says to me. The way that read to me was, okay, she telling the truth, but I'm not that person anymore. That's what I heard. Right, Jessica. After all of that, Teresa ended up with a man that sent her ass to jail. But that's what I heard. I did them things, but I'm not that person anymore. Still, I'm still not saying that everything the woman said is true, but there must be some validity of truth to it. There must be some layer of truth to it. So Teresa ends up getting into it with with Rachel. And that's what Rachel did, right? Rachel Teresa threw it in Rachel's face about her husband. Well, your husband's a drug dealer and he likes dildos. And Louie because first of all, Teresa always trying to have an argument that ain't her argument. Why are you talking to Rachel about why her husband wouldn't meet with Louie? First of all, Fuda is there. Second of all, Louie is not. So that's a conversation that didn't even need to be had. That's a conversation that could have waited and y'all could have saved that. Because even if Rachel were to engage in the conversation, it's not like they can have the conversation. Louie's not even there. Louie is not even there. So they end up getting into an argument. And of course, that's what Teresa throws at Rachel. Well, your husband's a drug dealer and he likes dildos. So then Rachel says to her husband, ends up coming, Fuda ends up coming around there, and he basically said, she was like, well, tell my husband to his face. Say it to his face. Say it to his face. And Teresa was like, well, I didn't say it. It was all over the blogs. And Fuda was like, yeah, so you're gonna listen to a woman who is in jail? Like, you're gonna take the word of a jailbird over me? Like, you're gonna take her word for it? But what I wanted him to say, and I feel like he started to say it, and either he said it and they edited it out, or he started to say it and for whatever reason he got sidetracked. But what I thought he was going to say, and this is what I wrote in my notes, was, so we're supposed to believe everything that Fuda's ex-girlfriend / wife, I don't remember if they were married or not, but the mother of his son, we're supposed to believe everything this woman says, but we're not supposed to believe anything that Louie's ex says? That's what we're supposed to do? So Louie's ex is lying because she's jealous and she's a liar. But Fuda's ex is telling the truth because you want it to be true. See, that's why I can't fuck with Teresa. The double standard be killing me with her. I can't with her. So now everything this woman says must be true, but everything Louie's ex said must be a lie. Miss me with that. Okay, Joe recently did an interview talking about how Teresa helped him out and how he only had $100 a week to give to Melissa to buy Pampers and this and that, and he was so sincere. I sat there and cried. That's what I'm saying. Like, Gorga was not rich when Melissa first met him. Now, I mean, clearly the potential was there, but he wasn't rich. Teresa's saying it's out there because she got bloggers to put the information out. Well, Teresa flips scripts and quickly makes up lies that she believes. I wish Dr. Kirk Honda would review this one. Don't forget that Fuda's ex is mad because she lost. Right, that's what I'm saying. Fuda's ex has a reason. And that's why, to be honest, like I said, before he, and I understand sure what you were saying, that he probably released it because there's some, I mean, there's probably a mug shot or two. There's probably, maybe he's gotten in trouble. Maybe there's other people that corroborate. Because I feel like he's talking about the drug dealer story, right? We ain't even going to talk about the dildos and stuff. Because, child, what you do in your bedroom ain't my business. I don't care about no man playing with a dildo. I don't care about no woman playing with whatever she playing with. It's whatever. Don't care. Not my business. But I feel like he's addressing the drug dealer rumors or statements. And again, I'm not mad at him for addressing it, but I'm just saying my conversation was really going to go in a whole different direction, because I was like, why are we going to automatically believe what he's saying, what this woman is saying, who is clearly scorned? Like you said, she's in jail. She lost her parental rights. And even though Fuda has never called her by name, obviously anybody who knows them in real life knows the story, right? Except Louie's ex lost her case and got a brow beating from the judge for stalking. It flipped and reversed. No, I understand that. Give me shelter. But let me say this. I understand that things didn't go well in court, but I'm still not going to say that I don't believe anything she said. Do I think she put 20 on 10? Maybe. But I don't think she lied about everything. And that might be my bias, because I don't like Louie. And I don't believe Louie. I believe that Louie is a snake oil salesman. But you're right, give me shelter. It didn't go well for her in court. You are absolutely correct. But I don't believe nothing. Look, I don't believe Louie. I don't believe nothing come out that man's mouth. There was more to the story. Apparently, Fuda flipped on the mother of his child and other drug dealers for a sweetheart deal. His parents have money and hers do not. Okay, well, listen, I don't judge nobody for none of that. I don't do it. I don't judge him. He took the deal. He took the deal. Shit. Okay. But I feel like that's why he put the press release out. You know what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, that's what I just can't do with Teresa. It's always an exception when it's her. It's always different when it's her. You know what I'm saying? Exactly. People in the streets be talking, say it, and they have nothing else to say about it. Now Louis things on top of things. Now Louis things on top of things keep coming out. Well, we're gonna see. Teresa did marry a man without potential. Why should Melissa? Joe was handsome, the life of the party, personable and ambitious. Melissa did what she was supposed to do. Yeah, I mean, again, I don't know these people in real life, but from what I see on the show, do I think that Joe Gorga does a little too much sometimes? Yeah. Do I think that Joe loves the attention, loves the cameras, loves being on reality TV? Absolutely. But so do a whole lot of people that are on reality TV. I'm not judging nobody for that. You know what I'm saying? Like, I ain't judging him for that. Baby, enjoy yourself. Have a good time. Be the life of the party, Joe. Him and Frank, I think, are hilarious. I find them stupid. They are the forever frat boys. Like, they're 50 years old and still acting like they're in a frat house in their 20s. I find them hilarious. Now, I don't have to live with them. You know what I'm saying? So I don't like Louis either. I just don't like the Fudas more. I think this season is going to be awful. Well, I don't have an opinion on the Fudas one way or the other, to be honest with you. Like, they didn't really leave me with any type of opinion. Like, last season, they didn't really leave me hot or cold. I was just sort of with them. But I agree with you that I think the season is going to be terrible, because this first episode was just okay. I didn't even think we'd be here for an hour. I think we're just here for an hour because we just talking. Because it really wasn't an hour's worth of stuff for us to talk about. You know what I'm saying? But from the rest of the trailer for the season, it looks like it's a few things that's going to be happening. I just want to get to the Louis spending up all the Teresa money, but something tells me that that's going to be something towards the end of the season. Like, that's something that I feel like we're going to see, like, the last 2 episodes or some bullshit. Like, I just feel like that's something they're going to hold on to as long as they can. You know what I'm saying? Anyway, that was the episode. That was the Real Housewives of New Jersey, episode 15 premiere. Let me know what you guys think. Put it in the comments, and I will talk to y'all later. Peace. Oh, don't forget that this is Teacher Appreciation Week. So please do something nice for your kids, teachers. If you have a teacher in your life, do something nice for them. Send them a cash app, buy them a card, do something nice for them this week. Okay? All right. Mwah. Talk to y'all later. Peace.